All right. So let's talk a little bit about the best move we did this offseason here. So PFF did a list of the best move each team did this offseason. And this one I definitely agree with, guys. The Giants' best move this offseason? The offensive line. The obvious glaring hole. The obvious need that the team had to fix at that point. You know, it's been kind of a thorn in our side for many, many years now, as Rob has a cartoon version of me on the screen for some reason. That's me.
I was just too sexy. They had to get rid of me.
Sexy, Dexy. But yeah, here's PFF what they said. They said, emphasizing the offensive line, this is more of a best strategy. While the Giants didn't add a massive name in free agency along their offensive line, they brought in Jermaine Eluemunor, Jon Runyan, Aaron Stinnie, and Austin Schlottmann. The sum of those four signals new life and some needed flexibility to improve the unit from 2023 after the Giants fielded the lowest graded offensive line in the league, 47.2. And 100% that right. Like, we took the biggest weakness we had. We didn't sign anyone major. Like, I'm not trying to say we signed like a next like Pro Bowl guy, an All-Pro guy. We already had that guy. Andrew Thomas is that guy. What we didn't have is just some solid people to put across this line. Jermaine Eluemunor, solid guy. Jon Runyan, bad run blocker, but an amazing pass blocker. Aaron Stinnie, the reverse. Austin Schlottmann has stepped in multiple times and done well. You know, we've got guys who are legitimate NFL players now. Whereas before we were getting people off the couch. Like, that's a change. That's a change. So, you know, I think it's a good mix we got. I think it's good considering the cap space we had, considering the available talent out there. Because it wasn't like there was a ton of top-tier talent out there, guys. Especially ones that were sitting around that were going to be necessarily wanted to come to us, because top talent tends to want to go to top teams and get top Super Bowl rings.
I said they go for that ring.
That's what a lot of these guys are. So, you know, instead
you're top free agent, put a ring on it. If you're a top free agent, put a ring on it. Put your hands up. What?
But we ended up, getting instead a bunch of mid-tier players who were an improvement over what we had. I mean, we did talk before. Austin Schlottmann would have been, I think, the third best PFF grade that we had. Jermaine Eluemunor would have been the second best PFF grade we had at the offensive line, and Aaron Stinnie would have beaten out like half the guys we had on the line last year. So we brought in guys who were an improvement. And of course, we can't not mention the biggest move we got, getting Priscillo as the offensive line coach, which, let's be honest, I think me or Rob would be an improvement over Bobby Johnson last year. Like that
this
guy's
point.
Glad to see him in DC. Brian Burns and Kayvon Thibodeau getting some sacks next year at DC. But yeah, a good move overall by fixing the offensive line, and not necessarily fixing it to make it elite, but at least the moves to make it an average offensive line in this league, guys. An average offensive line is something I will take day and night now, considering
over last place.
how bad our line has been the last few years there. So,
past 10 years, yeah.
Yes.
Thanks for listening to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please subscribe.